According to Bobby Marks, if you put the 5 days into which games he missed for those reasons, Kyrie is going to forfeit $816,000 in salary for the 2 games he missed this week.
Stimulus checks, that is.
Now, sources telling our Adrian Wojnarowski Kyrie is expected to play against the Magic tomorrow. Steve Nash was asked about that in a press conference today. He had no details on how the reintegration would go. He said, I have no update on how Kyrie would get back reintegrated into the team to play tomorrow, so we will still wait and see. Welcome to The Jump. I am Rachel Nichols, alongside Coach David Fizdale, 2008 Finals MVP Paul Pierce. And guys, coming up, we got Luka versus Giannis tipping off in less than 5 hours right here on ESPN. Later in the show, we will handicap the MVP race where these two are the front runners in Vegas. Woo! First, though, we begin today's show with, of course, James Harden. Just made his first public appearance as a member of the Nets, spoke to reporters virtually in the last few minutes, addressed a lot of the lingering questions surrounding his departure from Houston and his future in Brooklyn. Take a listen.
What does it represent? What does it mean to you?
It means a lot. Just, coming for, 8 years in Houston and then, having a fresh start with some unbelievable talent and, obviously, the coaching staff, the front office, from top to bottom, the welcome has been amazing. So it's a fresh start for me to go out there and ultimately have a chance to compete at a title.
Bruce Beck, NBC New York.
Hey, James, what's your message to Nets fans on what kind of player and what kind of teammate they're getting?
An elite player, an elite teammate, an elite leader. And just a guy that's willing to do whatever it takes to rack up as many wins as we can. Sacrifice.
Brian Lewis, New York Post.
Hey, James. Welcome. Following up on that, I mean, you've proven yourself to be an elite player, and KD's an elite player, Kyrie's an elite player. All you guys have had the ball in your hands and been asked to make big shots. I'm curious how the three of you make sure that you guys come together and keep the main thing, and find a way to gel for the greater good.
Chemistry, sacrifice, and like you said, we're all elite, so depending on the game, depending on, what's going on throughout the course of the game, that's going to determine who gets the ball and who makes the plays. We're all unselfish. We're all willing passers. And we play basketball the right way, and that's all that matters.
Otis Livingston, CBS New York.
Hey, James, welcome to Brooklyn. From your post-game comments after the Lakers lost to what your teammates were saying about you as far as being disrespectful and also you being held out of practice until a trade was made, it got pretty ugly at the end of your tenure in Houston. Is there any part of you that regrets the way that it ended?
I wasn't disrespectful to anyone. Those guys had just got there, Houston. I've been there for a very long time. I've been through all the ups and downs, with that organization. And I wasn't disrespectful towards anyone. I just made a comment, that the team as a whole wasn't good enough to compete for a title. And, at the stage of my career, right where I am now, that's what I would love. And so I wasn't trying to be disrespectful to anybody, especially not to the organization. And like I said, I'm excited to be here in Brooklyn and, excited for a new start.
But do you regret the way it ended, though? I mean, it's a place that you loved and you had so many highlights.
Yeah, I regret because I'm not the type of guy to, I don't need the attention, especially the negative energy, the negative attention. Like, I've never been that guy. So there were some things I felt like out of my character, but the ultimate goal was to get somewhere, where I can compete, and here I am in Brooklyn. I have nothing but love and respect for that organization, that city, and everything that they've done for me and my family. Much respect.
Hey, James. First and foremost, welcome to Brooklyn.
Thank you.
I guess you would know better than any of us in this room that, winning a championship is not easy, right? There's 30 teams, of those 30, maybe 5 or 6 have real chances to win it. You've been part of those 5 or 6 for God knows how long since you've been in Houston. You've had multiple runs deep. You've had it with different players from Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, Melo, Dwight. I'm just curious as to what gives you the confidence that this time around will be different and that this group can get it done.
Obviously you got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving on the team. And then surrounded by those guys, you have really good pieces in DeAndre, Jeff, shooters, and Joe, Landry. You just look at this entire roster and it's built for any style of basketball you want. And then the coaching staff who, knows the game of basketball at a high level. You just add that all together and it's like, that's a legit chance right there. It was a no-brainer for me.
Rachel Nichols, ESPN.
Hey, James. Obviously, so many great players go without winning a title. There's guys in the Hall of Fame without winning a title. But how about you? How do you see your career in terms of how important it is to actually win that title, to complete what you want to do in basketball?
It's not a guarantee that me coming to Brooklyn is, guaranteeing a title, Rachel. But I think for me, giving myself a chance is very, very important. At younger, giving myself a chance, but wanting to get paid and wanting to take care of my family was very, very important to me. Now the stage of my career is giving myself a chance to do something that I haven't accomplished yet in this league, and that's very important to me now, and that's the situation that I'm in, and that's why I'm here in Brooklyn. I'm excited for the new opportunity. Obviously, we know it's not easy. It's not going to be easy at all, but with this roster and this coaching staff and this organization, I think we have a legit chance.
I know you're obviously still getting acclimated to this team, but when you look at yourself and you look at the pieces, what parts of your game do you envision, staying the same for this to work, and what parts do you envision changing for this to work with this team?
Very good question. I think for me, my playmaking ability, we have 2 elite scorers that the world knows already. My job is to come out here, obviously score the basketball when needed, but my playmaking ability, whereas getting our shooter shots, getting our bigs, finishes around the rim, and making the entire team better. I think that's one aspect of my game that will excel in this offense. And as long as I'm making my teammates better, it doesn't matter about the points. Like, I think everybody knows that I can score the ball at a high clip, and that's where the sacrifice comes in at.
So a lot there, guys, to unpack. But I give James a lot of credit, by the way. He answered every question. There was no, I don't want to talk about that, or no comment. Paul, you were a part, of course, of the Celtics' Big Three, KG, Ray Allen, and yourself. Fizz, you coached the Heat. You were the lead assistant on the bench with the Big Three with, of course, LeBron, Wade, and Bosh down in Miami. So I have to ask you guys, hearing all of that, including what James just said about adapting his play and changing and becoming a little bit more of a playmaker, what do you guys think the biggest challenge is, Paul, for how this Big Three is going to come together?
Well, James said it. I heard him say it a couple times, the sacrifice. He can't be the James Harden that he was in Houston. But my question is to the New Jersey Nets is the style of play.
Jersey?
The Brooklyn Nets.
Where you going, man?
They were Brooklyn Nets when you were there, Paul.
We once said that we would never see a jump shooting team win a championship, then you had the Golden State Warriors.
Right.
And now you have 3 great one-on-one players. Is this the year that we have a one-on-one team style of play? That's who they are. Am I going to ask James to cut back door? Am I going to ask him to spot up? Am I going to ask the same of Kyrie? So my question is, what style of play? Can they be the first one-on-one team, ISO team to win? We have yet to see, and I don't know what style of play that's going to be, because you have to use these players to their strength. But the sacrifice, that's going to be the biggest things in James is going to have to do in order for this team to succeed.
Yeah, and that's the word I kept hearing, sacrifice. And Spo used to have a great saying, sacrifice is easy until it's you. Yeah. And so we're going to see if these guys are willing to sacrifice. And what does that look like? What does that mean? That means that time of possession with the ball as an individual. You got to make decisions quicker now because you got 2 other stars sitting on the weak side. So you got to make those decisions quicker. Defensively, when you're on defense, are you taking pride in being a top-level defensive team, or is it all about scoring and when you have the basketball? Those are the places that I want to see if those guys are willing to make sacrifices. And then finally, the off-the-court distractions. Can we get that behind us now and get to where y'all just playing basketball and showing what you can really do as a team?
Well, you guys, we were talking right before the show that you guys, when you came together as a big three in Boston, Paul, the fit was very natural, just between the position they played, the way you played, the way KG played. You were saying before the show the fit in Miami was not as just slot. You guys really pioneered that positionless basketball in terms of making it just a regular part of the equation. How did you figure that out as a coaching staff?
Pain, losing to Dallas, really suffering and having to go through that because Dwayne and LeBron were so dynamic with the similar type of basketball game where they needed that ball in their hands a lot. And ultimately, it did come down to us adapting as a coaching staff, but also when we talk about sacrifice. Paul was just saying it. We got after it defensively. That's one thing you can say. That team got after it defensively. And both of those guys, when they didn't have the ball, they made a conscious effort to move without it.
Yeah, that's my biggest question.
Yeah.
I mean, offense is not going to be a problem.
Defending.
Can they be a top 5 defensive team? Because if not, I don't see them getting to the finals.
Well, you see this usage rate and clutch time. So these are all, by the way, they all have a track record of being clutch performers. We threw it up here yesterday on the show. In the last 10 seasons, 8 guys have accumulated 1,000 points in the clutch. The Nets now have 3 of those 8. So they have guys who can come through in the clutch. The question, of course, is a little bit who takes the last shot. But I do think that stuff works itself out.
It does.
It's going to be some guys one night, some guys another night. In terms of defense, I completely agree. I mean, I remember so much, Fizz, that you guys had your first training camp once all those guys came together. Eric decided to hold it at a military base. And that you guys ran only defensive drills for the first few days, week?
It was at least 3 or 4 days that we just went straight defense. And it was to set a tone at a military base because we was getting ready for them. And you had to be so disciplined and sharp to beat that Boston team. They guarded the heck out of you. They moved the ball. They ran their stuff to precision. And they weren't going to beat themselves. So we knew this wasn't no guarantee that we was just going to come strolling out of the East. So we said the one thing we can all do is we can all defend. We'll work out the offensive stuff later. And ultimately, those habits we built in that first year led to the championships.
I do want to ask you one more thing from the presser and what we just heard from James. Remember, Boogie Cousins came out, I think it was yesterday, and said it was extremely disrespectful the way that he treated us while he was here or we were here. James was asked about that, and his comment was, I wasn't disrespectful to those guys. He said, I've been in Houston for a long time. They just got here. This was about something much bigger and broader. It really wasn't about them. And he also said that he did have regrets, only in that he said it wasn't in his character to do things that drew negative attention. But he said it did get me to Brooklyn.
Buys chicken sandwich.
What's up with your hands, man? You're lowering those turnovers, and now you're stealing balls.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Miller always said I'm a cookie monster, and I'm going to steal that from him, so I'm a cookie monster. Maybe I'm not that good defensively, but I'm a cookie monster.
Get those hands in the cookie jar, make carbs. Jokic had 7 steals the other day against Brooklyn, 3 more last night versus the Warriors. So, Fizz, you and I, neither one of us like that new Big Honey nickname for Joker. But what about the Cookie Monster? That could be okay.
I mean, he can call himself whatever he wants, but at the end of the day, he is our Joker. That's what the bottom line is. But I tell you what, it's good seeing him use other things to help his team win defensively.
I like him in the blue unis. Come on, Cookie Monster works, Paul.
I'm stuck on the Joker.
Yeah, our Joker is perfect.
All right, we're all no on Big Honey, though. I'm just saying.
No.
There we go. Miss Intimidation. We're staying in Denver. James Wiseman climbs Mount Bo. Paul,
is that twice? What's going on, Bo?
All right, so
starting to get some minutes, and he already got postered twice.
Look, though. Here's the Neek dunk.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Right?
Hey, that's what comes with being over 7 feet. People gonna go after you.
Yes, they are.
Bo, welcome to the league, Bo.
Come on, Bo.
Happened to Dad?
Woo!
Boom.
Hey, Perkins say it all the time. That come with it. I'm going to go out there and try to block stuff, and that come with it. So you can't be mad, Bobo. Keep going after it.
He'll
There
block
you
more
go.
than he get.
Make back scratches. This is the most exciting thing in the show today. I'm just saying. Hornets, Raptors, LaMelo finding Miles Bridges.
Oh,
my.
Packs it over Chris Boucher.
Oh, okay, that's somebody else. I thought that was Bobo again.
Okay, two-handed
That's big time.
posterizations.
No, that's
They're better
big
than
time.
one-handers, right?
Absolutely. You know, Nick. What is Larry Bird? Come on, Bird. Oh, Shaq.
No,
Take it easy on Chris Dudley.
Sorry, Chris Dudley.
Chris Dudley ain't having it, though. JR. Oh, my. Yeah, that was pretty good.
At least he didn't
And the
push up
dime was
like
nice,
Shaq.
too. This kid, ball is serious business.
Mm-hmm.
But Bridges, that's a nice dunk. Over the top.
I like it. I like it.
I like one-handers myself, though. I like
Really?
one-handers. Yeah, I like the lean.
Two hands is just mean. It's
Make Duffies, as in duffel bag. Okay, staying in Tampa. Watch this combo and finish from Scary Terry.
Ooh, and finish? Oh, my gosh, Scary
The
Terry.
man is in his bag. Are you more impressed with the move or the finger roll?
The finger roll. Look at
Yeah,
that. He
the
threw up a
left.
prayer with the
left,
left and then went in. I'm not sure he can duplicate that the rest of his career.
Yeah, he can do the move, but the finger roll is definitely
that
more
was
impressive.
nice, though. Hey, skill versus opportunity equals luck.
They got some guards over there.
Hard work and opportunity.
For all the postponements, for all the complications of this season, there have been, I would say, there's some great basketball moments every night they have played so far this year.
A lot of highlights.
It feels nice.
Let me tell you something. Charlotte is my favorite team to watch right now.
They're our League Pass team on the
That's
jump.
what I say. They got
Most-
guards, man.
All right, let's run it back to the filthiest dribble combos ever. Honorable mention, because it wasn't in a normal game. Kyrie on Brandon Knight, 2013
goodness.
Rising Stars game. This was in the All-Star game.
I remember that.
Oh.
Look at KD clapping for his
Just-
future bestie.
Just so you know, I coached that game. We got our butt kicked.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Fizz.
Yeah. That's all right, B-Night.
I mean, we'd still show the highlight. I just would have apologized.
It's all right. It's all right,
I'm
B-Night.
just
Chris
saying.
Paul got to be in here.
Number 5, CP3 is
Yeah.
back on Anthony
Yeah.
Carter.
Oh.
2008.
Ooh.
Woo.
Whoop. Whoop.
Oh. Oh.
Come on now.
Uh-huh.
Where'd he
what is
go?
Hornets DNA.
Where did he go?
What the kids say now? Get over here. Is that what they say? The
Come on, see.
Mortal Kombat?
Number 4, you knew Steph was going to make this one too.
Oh, this was just film.
Yeah, this was like a big. This is like the big kid dribbling around with the little kids.
He just went through the traffic.
Some Globetrotter stuff.
That's like what the players do at the camp versus the little kids.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It reminds me of the dribble game.
Like,
we
I
used to
need
play,
y'all
right?
to come guard. 3 kids come guard.
And you just dribbling around.
By the way, Steve Kerr said several times during that season, I'm supposed to tell Steph bad shot, but it's Steph.
No.
I don't. 2015, Kyrie takes on the entire Spurs team.
This dude, he's. I think in NBA history, he's got to be top 5 skill players of all time. I think.
I think you could go higher
What do
in
you
the top
think?
5.
Just skill, handle, shooting, finishing,
Finishing around the
floating.
handles and finishing around the
I
basket.
mean, I don't know how
It
many
is
guys.
a short list of the 3
Yeah,
that he
yeah.
is on.
Well, he up there with
2000,
Isaiah.
yes.
He up there, top 5. He up in the top.
His godfather's Rod Strickland just saying 2000 Stevie
Oh, not
franchise
franchise.
picking on poor Troy Hudson.
Oh, T. Hud.
Come on.
And you knew this was number 1. You knew it. It's our greatest living American, Allen Iverson on Michael Jordan.
We put that on there because it was Jordan. Because Jordan,
Just 'cause it's Jordan.
Jordan was kind of still there.
Yeah, I know he made it back in the play. It wasn't a total like he gone.
It was Bulls Jordan, so I don't hear any excuses.
But it's
That was
Jordan.
not Wizards
It's
Jordan,
Jordan.
and it was
Jordan.
Allen Iverson. And if you're having that Kyrie conversation, Allen Iverson's in it. No?
We didn't have any Tim Hardaway Sr. up there.
That is true.
What are we doing here, people? The two Texas two-step,
Josh
bop,
Strickland.
bop. They used to disappear out the screen
That
when he
is
hit them
true.
with that.
That's
so.
true.
That Hardaway crossover.
We had him on the show like 2 weeks ago, and we showed a bunch of clips of him, though. So I'm just saying, we repped for
That's
him on the
my
jump.
man. Oh.
Coming up next, Paul and Fizz are going to tell me who their MVP frontrunners are right now. We're counting down to the Luka versus Giannis game tonight on ESPN, and those two are getting a lot of attention from Vegas odds makers. We'll discuss. And here's what the Jump recommends for today. Damian Lillard spoke to Mark Spears from The Undefeated about his social justice efforts, how he'd like to use his platform to, quote, actually be part of some change on behalf of equality. Head over to theundefeated.com to go read it now, and then hang with us. The Jump will be right back. Eastern. Then it's Zion and the Pelicans squaring off against LeBron, AD, and the Lakers. That's going to be good. Coverage starts with NBA Countdown at 7 Eastern. Welcome back to The Jump. I'm Rachel Nichols, Paul Pierce, David Fizdale. Guys, as you saw, Mavericks-Bucks on ESPN tonight, which means Giannis Antetokounmpo and preseason odds-on MVP favorite, Luka Doncic. So, Paul, who is your MVP frontrunner now that we're a few weeks into the season? And remember, it's a shortened season, so we're further in than we used to be.
Those are some great names. Giannis been MVP. Luka Doncic doing his thing. Right now, I got to go with the Joker.
Okay.
I mean, he's dominating the game. He's averaging a triple-double. We've never seen a big man pass like this. I mean, he's leading the league in assists. He's averaging a triple-double. Yeah, I know that the Nuggets are like, 6th seed right now, but if they get up to like a top 3 seed, I really believe he should be the MVP. I mean, we've never seen a center lead the league in assists.
Wow.
And if he does that, along to go with the triple-double,
that's impressive.
I think he should be MVP.
Definitely, I think that you make a great argument for him. Right now, I got Luka.
Okay.
I think because look at what Luka did without Kristaps Porzingis. To have this team at, the record that they're at in the West. Look at the numbers right now. Luka, the assist is what does it for me. He averages 8.3 assists. That's the defining number, I think, right now that puts him in the front and what he's done without him. But I think something else to say, too. We haven't gotten to see this Mavs team at full strength.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people have been saying they need one more piece. And I'm not sure about that yet because I think Kristaps matches up as well as anybody with AD, right? And then you have to account for Luka when you look at LeBron. But Tim Hardaway Jr. has been putting up numbers, and everybody keeps talking about third scorer. This dude's averaging 18 a game. He's had 2 30-plus games. People better start taking recognition of that. And then they got Josh Richardson. I think Luka and them, if they could stay healthy.
I mean, it's part of why tonight's Bucks matchup is so interesting, right? Because you got a very good team that they're going to have to square off against. I would just throw in there Joel Embiid into the mix right now. Off to a great start. I was throwing Kevin Durant into the mix because I didn't feel like playing with Kyrie disqualified him in any way from being voted on. I do wonder if voters would reward Kevin Durant, even if he ends up having a great season, because now Harden is there also. We saw with the Golden State group, voters just didn't want to reward one of those guys because they felt they were getting enough help from the other guys. I'm not saying that that's the right way to go. Maybe Kevin will distinguish himself as the real MVP, besides Wanda, by the end of this season. But I would throw Embiid in there and let's see what happens with Durant.
And you made the good point about our Heat team. LeBron won MVP with
D-Wade that's right.
and Chris Bosh on the roster. So it's very possible.
It can happen.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the late game. The Pelicans facing the Lakers. Zion Williamson, he struggled with injuries, of course, minutes restrictions last season, but the Pelicans have lifted those minutes restrictions. Where do you think Zion is right now in terms of his development? Is he on schedule?
Are you asking Paul?
I'm asking Mr. Pierce.
Yeah.
What you got? Yeah.
I mean, you're in your second year. You're averaging 21 a night. Your team is going to be in contention for playoffs, and there's no denying his impact and excitement, the excitement he brings to the city of New Orleans. He's right on the right path going toward where he needs to be, and I think he will be an all-star this year.
Yeah, and if I'm going to be the coach and nitpick him a little bit, Zion Williamson, come on, man, you got to average double-digit rebounds.
Okay.
He has to. He's a beast on the glass.
He's only 6'3", though. He's only 6'3".
Oh, man. Shoulders are 6'3".
Other short people, although me being short is a foot shorter than Zion. I mean, you got to think Stan's on him, though, about
Absolutely.
Right?
You already know. Stan is coaching the heck out of this guy. He's going to make him a complete basketball player. I think we got to look at the body of work of Zion over years because he's already ready to go to impact the league. So I think it might be too early to ask, is his development in the right place? He's already doing what we thought he was going to do.
I think it's a good question and an interesting point only because I think the Pelicans are doing it the right way. And we have seen teams try to rush in prodigies or maybe not use them the right way early and it impacts the rest of their career. It has felt so far that they're doing it the right way.
When you got Brandon Ingram over there,
that's right.
You could take your time a little bit with because Brandon Ingram is balling.
Amen. All right, I want to talk about the Grizzlies. John Morant is listed as questionable for Friday's game. This is tonight against the Timberwolves after missing more than 2 weeks with a left ankle sprain. Remember, his initial timeline was 3 to 5 weeks, so he's coming back early. The Grizzlies have gone 4-4 in his absence, which, frankly, a lot of people thought they couldn't do.
Right.
So what do you think his impending return means for Memphis, Coach?
Oh, it's huge, especially the fact that they've held the fort without him. 4-4 in the West. young team, really holding it down, keeping themselves relevant. And we know what he is. This guy is dynamite. He's one of the guys I would pay to go see because he is electric. And so getting him back and you held the fort down, I think it built a lot of confidence in everyone else.
That's a good point.
Too. And now he's coming back healthy, ready to go. I think that's really going to elevate them. And give credit to the coaching staff. Coach Jenkins has done a great job with his staff of getting these guys to commit defensively. They turn you over. They're second in the league in assists, I think, somewhere up in the top 5. They move the ball. And so they're building the right habits to be a team to worry about for the future.
Yeah, we all know it doesn't matter how well coached you are. You can't win without your stars.
You got to have horses.
I mean, yeah, they went 4-4, but we all know you need
Sure
John Morant. You guys want a shot at the playoffs, but I was really impressed with how they held down the fort, going 4-4. And like you said, he's actually my favorite player in the league to watch today. I mean, just the energy, the excitement he brings. He's a superstar in the making. If he can stay healthy, hopefully he can guide this team to an eighth seed that they had in their hands before the bubble.
Yep.
And like so many of the young stars in our league, just such a good, thoughtful kid off the court, too. So really lucky for Memphis to have him. Coming up, you heard the bell. You heard the bell? I hear the bell. There you go. I'm prescient. Look at that. Means we're playing another edition of the Stat Market. Nikola Jokic currently averaging a triple-double, as Paul noted. We're going to ask if you buy or sell. He can do that for the rest of the season. Stick around. See how you answer our questions, how they match up with Paul and Fitz. The Stat Market is open for the day. We give you the stats. You buy or sell whether you think those trends will continue. So first up is Joel Embiid, shooting a career-high 54% from the field this season. It's kind of surprising he's never shot 50% from the field in his career.
Yeah, that's shocking.
Right?
I would have never guessed that.
So, Paul, do you buy or sell Embiid finishing above 50% this season?
I'm buying it. He looks like he's in the best shape of his life. He hired a nutritionist. He is out here balling and should be in the MVP conversation. Yes, Joel Embiid surprisingly should be over 50% for a career, but I truly believe he will this year.
Surprisingly, Joel, when I see you, and now that I know that, I'm going to be on you, brother. You cannot be that dominant of a scorer shooting in the 40 percentile. I'm sorry. I'm not having it. So he better stay above 50 this year. Doc, call me if you need me, because I'll come out there and get after him. This dude is a monster. And
he's got the skill level. Obviously.
Yeah, there's no reason he shouldn't for the rest of his career, be over the top of 50% with that kind of skill set and that ability. Now, I know he shoots threes and mixes up his game and stuff like that. But still, even with that being said, he should be a higher percentage player from that.
That was surprising.
Well, he is
very
now.
surprising.
He is now, and he does have the best quote of all time about shooting. He said that when he was growing up very far from the NBA and wanted to learn how to shoot better and shoot from more distance, he said that he went to YouTube and put in white guys shooting threes. And that he just learned from there, even though he wasn't getting the game on a day-to-day basis. So. There you go. Next up, Nikola Jokic, who is currently averaging a triple-double. Only Russell Westbrook and Oscar Robertson have ever done that over a full season. But as we discussed in the last segment, game never seen a guy quite like Jokic. So do you buy or sell, Coach, Jokic averaging a triple-double?
I'm buying it because I want to see it.
Okay. You changed your answer here.
I changed my answer because I think it's so hard, especially for a big, but he's just not normal.
Right.
He's not normal, and I just have to accept that this guy is special. The way he moves the ball, the way he sees the game. Look at the placement of his passes. LeBron is one of the only few guys that I've seen in my life put the ball right there. He always puts the ball right there from a timing standpoint. The scoring and the rebounding is going to be there. Can you keep the assists at that level? And I just think this will be awesome if he pulls it off, so I am buying it.
Look how much higher his pace is than Wilt, though.
Right, sign me up.
Yeah?
I'm buying.
You're in.
When I look at these, look at the way he causes so much attention when he gets the ball. If you notice that every time he got the ball in the post, he got double teamed. He got guys cutting. He has shooters. Then what's the most surprising thing is his ability to get the rebound and push it. For a center and make plays, because there's no other center in the league right now that can do that you can get the rebound, push it full court, and give you the pass right on the dime for a layup. And so in the way they run their offense through him to the high post and the half court, the way he can make them bounce pass for cutters, I'm buying.
Hey, by the way, we was talking about it on the break.
Yeah.
He got a few guys paid in the offseason that they lost, by the way. I think it was like 3 guys, Beasley, Grant, and Craig all ended up doing very well in the free agent market.
Yep.
And a lot of that had to do with having that unselfish big that gets that ball where you need it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And he also, you can see, has been really dedicated to the training regimen that he picked up in the break before the bubble. He's now walking around telling other people on the team, he told Tim Conley, he said, you can't eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with too much sugar. That's bad for you, which is pretty amazing. I think if you're Michael Malone, you're pretty excited to hear that he's the one who's monitoring other people's eating habits. Lastly, New York Knicks, they're relying on their young guys at the moment. Fizz, obviously you are intimately familiar with this roster. R.J. Barrett leading the league with almost 38 minutes per game. His teammate Julius Randle third with 37 minutes a night. Do you buy or sell, Fizz, them carrying this type of load for the Knicks? You know them better than anyone.
I'm buying. Those guys are in great condition. Come on, R.J. Barrett's like 14 years old. He don't get tired. They gave me crap for this when I was in New York. The press was like, oh, you're playing R.J. so many minutes. I'm like, he's 12.
Right.
These guys are young. They're having success with those two guys on the floor together. They're going to need them on the floor to take that big jump. Man, Latrell Sprewell played like 42 minutes a night for like 3 seasons. So I think sometimes we get a little too much with the minutes management.
Let me tell you something, Coach. These minutes have nothing to do with their conditioning.
Right.
They're going to average these minutes because of Coach Tibbs.
He's going to get out.
Right, but will their conditioning allow them to?
Yeah, they will.
Listen,
These guys that did
Tibbs
conditioning
didn't have
tests.
to sub, he wouldn't sub nobody out.
No, he's playing 7. But you know what? Here's an important point, I think, Paul, that's important. For them to make this jump that they want to make, they're not planning to get to the end of June like the finals. They're trying to get into the playoffs.
Yes.
And so for them to make that jump, he's going to play his best.
Point.
Yeah, so it's not like he's wearing them out for June.
Right.
So he's going to play them out to get that team to take that big jump that they need to take. And
load
those two guys can take.
No load manager with him.
Paul would know. There you go. That's the closing bell, meaning the stat market done for the day. We'll be back with another edition soon. Coming up in this show, Steve Nash now has KD, Kyrie, and the Beard in his starting lineup. Is his job easier or harder now? I love this question. You're going to hear what Paul Pierce says to that. First, though, time for our second distant replay of the day. This one, 93 on this date featuring Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, my goodness. He had that spin out something. Was that Robert Perry?